Does somebody understand the representation location of what 333 is? What is 333? Heart, mind, and soul. The body is the constant mind conditions. The full cycle is 3333. All right. So to understand that balance is to understand how to balance yourself inside. To understand how to balance yourself inside is understanding to balance everything around you. You have inside and outside of you, right? It's pretty standard. Understand your force fields, understand your energy fields, energy cycles, energy rotation, circulation, circulatory line connection system, torical fields, nautical line calculation line, and position, location, operation, surface. To truly understand you is understand how you will work inside through energy, vibration, frequency, and harmonics. I keep saying this over and over and over and over and over. Your adaptability is you understanding you. And the only way to do that is to understand the earth, the angelics, and space. There's three right here. Right here, you connect with. What's the other two? Your higher self is the earth grounds, and your avatar is your space. 2, 3 and 2, heart. Right here. This is the heart. Say hello. This is your heart, right? So understanding how to balance the earth, the grounds, the level, the setting, Mother Earth, nature, okay? How it connects to you through emotion is all of us. Voice grid set location. Getting the grounds, getting the powers, power recognition high setting, solar track line communication, solar generation line interference, indirect signals, okay, to the atmosphere, which is your magnetic field, which is your connection high system to your higher self. Okay, your higher self has a magnetic field, and so is your avatar. Ooh, multipass. The only difference is higher levels of the mind, adaptability. Your avatar is a simulation computer. Your higher self is its mainframe. You have to understand how this works through the mind adaptability. And I keep saying that truly understand the conscious line setting. You're out of the conditions of subterranean. You come into the subtronic set locations. You change your type of defense line communication in that setting. The Tron setting to your set locations. The travels, the relays, the atmospheres of its memory. Tron. So understanding that is understanding the concept of the mind. What is the concept of remembering who I am? Why is that so important? Well, why is it so important that you are on the earth ground locations of your position? Why is it so important to have the earth? The earth is not outside of you, it's inside of you. You're creating the space. Create the space first, earth starts floating. Then you create everything around it. Okay, that's all it is. Try to understand the concept of what you're trying to do is you're trying to create an image, a structure, a division, multitude level locations of anything through operation of hologram. Trying to understand you, how to balance the conversion of your earth perception is connected. Now, I said its line calculation is 144. That's going to 244. Team's going to 344. That's clocking where your earth perception is. The higher you go in the mind, the higher your earth goes. Let me say that again. The higher you go in the mind, the higher the level of your earth goes. One more time. The higher you go in the mind, the higher the level of the earth goes. Do you understand that? That's the concept that we're trying to understand. What you don't understand is not being understood. It's you getting grounds with you first. You understanding the angelics of you first. You understand the atmospheres of you. You understanding the space inside you. You're creating this space. And when you create the space, earth goes around and it starts to float. It's floating. Now you put perimeters and parameters and security line defense. You got planets and all that set locations. You are protecting your earth. Protection, security, nurturing. Masculinity avatar. Higher self, femininity, which is connection high system. Now, the actual higher self has a masculine and feminine, but if it's titled defense line, it's this feminine setting because it's earth. Earth is female set location, guys. It's Mother. It's Mother Earth. Multi-pass. Now, masculinity is the avatar. Higher self, avatar, tither, communication, back and forth. So wherever you go, your higher self and your avatar goes. Magnet to a piece aligned calculation setting. So what's in the center operation? Your Earth. What's the center position? All of those, both lines setting in masculinity? Your higher self and your avatar. But it's like this, and your Earth is in the center, rotating, right? It's spinning on an axle. So this is your higher self, the Earth, Mother Earth, female line conditions of transmission, male, masculinity of transmission. But the higher self has its masculinity and its femininity. But if you want me to title it in that positions and label it, now you understand the female side of the higher self and the male side of its avatar location. Avatar masculinity is all calculations of command, force, chain of command, recognition, confidence setting, commanding set line. Okay, control. So if you understand that concept, then you understand the importance of what you're doing with your higher self of the earth grounds to your avatar of your space line. Okay. Try to understand the concept of what's going on with you. You have to get grounds with your emotional setting. So the higher levels you go in the mind, I'll say this one more time, you're reaching higher levels of your sim, which is your avatar. Now the team line is now in calculations this subtronic. You're out of this subterranean level. Congratulations. You are no longer into the conscious setting. The brain adaptation line interference is his mainframe. Higher self has a calculation of 0 to 12. That's the calculation that you have to understand, which is your earth. You have an earth line conditions of high setting, which is the female masculinity line position. And you have the masculinity, femininity. Masculinity and femininity,
Okay.
female masculinity.
For which is the female masculine line position. And you have the masculinity and femininity. Check it out.
Connection line system locations here. Wants to communicate with me. All right, so setting communication is trying to understand that. Female masculinity is the earth. Masculinity and femininity is the avatar. One more time. Higher self, avatar. Higher self, avatar. Tither in communication. Female, male, male, female, female, male, male, female. Understand? Good. All right, so now we can move on. See? Now, this is what you have to truly understand. Now you understand the balance of the grounds, the powers, and the atmospheres, and the locations to its earth, position, location, of jobs in space. Now you can understand why you have a right ear and a left ear, why you have a right hand and a left hand. Right? Now, this is where it gets confusing. Right line is position, location of what? What is your right ear? What is your right ear? Earth, right? So what's earth? Female masculinity. Ooh. So if this is female masculinity, that means my left ear is male and female masculinity. Multi-pass. Don't get confused to that. Don't get confused to that. Okay? So now you understand why the earth is mother, right? Mother Earth. Female masculinity. Ooh, it's exciting, isn't it? You probably thought it was male masculinity and female. Nope, it's female masculinity and male. Interesting, right? So you have to understand the concept of how the spiritual earth works, line communication, your settings, the ground lines. And space line is all masculinity, femininity, right? More of a command, more of a structure, more geometric patterns, more division, more location, sectors, vectors, and quads. Higher levels of AI, higher levels of calculation, higher levels of setting in your command set, locations of chain of command. Okay? So, but you have to be connected to both. You have to be connected to the earth and you have to be connected to space. And the center operation is the angelics. That's all it is. So in that set locations, now we can understand the importance but what your right ear and what your left ear is through transmission. Okay? You probably thought this was the calculation of masculine and femininity. No. Okay? Setting communication is the female side to the masculinity, male side to the female side, masculinity. So I'll give you guys a multipass. Paying attention, right? The right ear is your higher self. Your left ear is your avatar. Wow. See? Adaptability is everything to that calculation setting now. Now you understand all level set locations. This is your higher self. This is your avatar. Multi-pass. Earth tones and communication is all levels of Mother Earth. But you're connecting to Mother, which is female, not male. Multi-pass. Communication. Father. Space, guys. Grandfather. Grandmother. Grandmother. Grandfather. Grandmother. Grandfather. Grandmother. Grandfather. Okay? Now you understand the importance of all calculation system and how it works and all set line conditions. And that's why you guys get confused. Right? That is how everything works inside of you through operation, a transmission. Okay? So now you know how big that is. You didn't know that, did you? But you do now. Higher self. Avatar. Okay? Easy peasy lemon squeezy. All right? All right, so getting in that connection settings, now you understand that process and how it works. Okay, so that's going to help you out more to understand the earth line communication to your higher self. Higher self is set locations to 1 to 13, 0 operation to 13 set locations, right? And space is all calculations of 14 and above. 14 and above, 0 to 13. 14 and above, 0 to 14. You understand? That's how it works. Okay? All right. Now we can move on. All right. So get into solar text line setting. All calculations streamlines. Tina calculation system. So levels. Heather calculation line. Trinity. Trinity position captain. Captain position located Gypsy. Gypsy high setting. There's some time calculation line interference and track locations. Let's see, Handel, calculations all of the Johnny position of Chris, line communication line interference and track location system. So now we can use the info. Well, there you go. So now you know. Now you know, Captain. Now you know Trinity. Now you're not confused anymore. Now you understand the importance. Right is connected to the higher self, and left is the avatar set locations. 2 divisions, 2 locations in the same position. Okay? All right, so now we got the 70 line settings. So 7 pi underscore line calculation of 77. That puts you in track line communication of theta over theta, theta position location, track line center interference. So in set line communication setting, direction of time sequence comes in this position. Okay. So in this location settings, 3 set locations, right? Ground lines, 0 line rotations, into flux capacitor, center line position, in flux capacitor location of space. Right? Center operation, space. Right? So come into communication line interference, north line position locations and position location high setting, come into east, come to the west line, northwest line communication, practically communication south, center communication system, triangulation line connection pyramid setting, rotation surface, center calculation 0 operation, center line position location high setting, and direct location side interference. Now directing signals location is trying to say how to use the panels. 2 panels and 2 line communication, right? Of time sequence. Scan lines and high center line condition. Another panel operation, center operation, set location. So that's done by equation. Center calculation of the line, center interference. Recognizing your earth and how it works in all levels of your set line communication setting, right? So you got a 0 ground, okay? You got a power connector, okay? And you got set locations to your magnetic, which is your cloud set location. That's how you set up, right? So what are you doing? What are you doing? There's your tree. Multipass, guys. So simple. You cut a tree in half, rounds. It's a stump, right? And these are the branches that come out. Oh, look at that, creating the tree. Whoa, amazing. See, comes into a cloud, a cluster location setting. Here's your tree, multipass. All right. So that's the connectionized system where you have to truly understand Earth perception line setting. Okay. So in that line communication system, this comes into the female track lines, into the male masculine state locations, right? So it has a flux path line position location, high setting, right? Volumes, velocity into our calculation system. Track line communications, the umbrella, set line communication to Earth, and rotation surface, and location setting. Now, the records of time sequence has to really understand how to use line communication with interference. Setting direct state location, as to understand all calculations to its grounds, to set location to its plasma, calculation of liquid formation line interference, and set location of zero operation center in power direction of time sequence and location setting. Direction of time sequence, all over the line calculation system in the satellite connecting in the high setting, direction of time sequence location. See the satellite? Satellite connection line interference sets position of center line in 3 set location settings. Direction of time sequence opens on the other panel, rotation surface. Air calculation line interference. Now we set lines of 7, set location of 7, and set location of 7. So in that bracket line connection, 7 bracket 7, set locations bracket 7, 7 location setting, direction of time sequence. Okay. So this opens up channels in all communication setting interference, 77 locations, your satellite sets. Done by equation? No. Recognition of time sequence is really understanding how to use yourself in all set locations. So you got your satellite set lines in set location, right? Your satellite. Zero line operation set location, right? Same signals in set location in 3 set location settings. Calculation modify alpha lines of delta. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in set location of 6 and set location of 7 location settings. Gracias. So it's 7 set location settings, right, to your satellite position, right? So 7 in barometer, 7 in metric, and 7 in system. 7, 7, 7. High calculation is circle, circle, circle. So that's 3 orb set locations. In the ground lines is 0 operation surface location setting, done by equation. All right, so setting line communication system is 2 theta box line positions. You have 2 theta settings and time sequence in position of 1 panel, operation new flux patch calculation streamline, in calculation line interference and direct location setting, moon line operation 6, 6 line position location handler 6 line communications, project location of the sun, communication of the moon is set line condition system, travel position location operation surface and set location. Done by equation. All right. Okay, so I'm setting up metric scales. Now, metric scale is a set lines to do with diameter. Diameter line, center line interference, it says position locations. At a block line, center location, your satellites, set position of track line, right? There's 2 lines of high set locations. That's theta over theta, and set location of 2 reception lines, any locations. There's a time sequence, travels line position, right? Now, when it travels, it sets lines in communication, center operation of travel location. There's some time sequence locations into 3 set line conditions, right? Center communication of 3, 3, 3. Heart, mind, and soul, travel position locations, operation surface, travels line, center line interference, and travel position. Done by equation. All right, so setting signal locations in mind, to understand how we use the alpha channel. The alpha channel lines is position locations. So line position location of Earth and rotation of center, operation to its surface, location of travel and set location. Travels line, center, and 0 operation line position comes into, you guessed it, tree formation. Tree formation comes into its cloud, line communication setting, and rotation surface. There are some timelines. Take the center operation, data streams. So what are your branches of your tree? Data streams. And set locations, high channels, high positions of clouds, or some time sequence. Setting calculations on levels, cod webbing, cod weaving, cod calculation line interference, and travel communication and coding. There's some time sequence. So we take time sequence, flux past line position location levels, that's 2 over pi. Position line connection system, square root, and line connections of 3 set location settings and direct location set interference, done by equation. All right, so pi represents time sequence locations now. Open up signals, channel upper streamline, direct signal location, operation of surface, center calculations into pi, into 1 line, into sector of 2 line, into 3 line sector, into 4 line sector, into 5 line sector, into 6 position locations, and 7 line calculations into 7, into line connection center interference. So we take the 7-line setting and direct locations into the moon sets. Moon line center location of 7, 7, bracket locations, equal line condition of 7, 7 location of 5, 5 location of 12. Sets line communications into line position of 12, DNA, and set location setting interference and track locations. That my equation. All right, so clock line setting. Records of time sequence. So we take the 144. Block line setting, line block, and line interference location triangulation, 3 weather pattern communication system, pyramid line center, 4 line track line connection system, Fibonacci swirl line rotation interference, 1 set line calculation system, 2 line interference, 2 line interference and set locations, that's 2, position of 2, and position of 2. 2 panels, communication setting, rotation surface. Setting triangulation line interference, line position location and directions into another calculation setting, direction of time sequence location and pyramid rotation. Rotation surface on 144. 144, graph line calculation system, flux fast, line position location, center line compilation, compilation line interference, compilation line and calculations at 244, line conditions at 344, and style location setting. Direct and signal locations, all levels average, location of change, done by equation. All right, so I'm doing this very fast because we have Zoom. Site connections, height setting is reckoned on time sequence. Now you have to really understand how to use the atmosphere locations. So you take the 12 DNA, 12 equals DNA. Okay, surface line calculations, take the dimensional line into the neutralized calculation setting into the atmosphere line connection system. That's atom across line string. So the atom line interference, that's position locations. All levels of atom line interference, interact locations to its molecular structure locations, to its subtronic line interference and set locations. So we take the line sign locations, subterranean line interference, a conscious location setting, indirect location interference, and track location. Done by equation. Changing the 12 lines into set location of flux capacitor and 244 clock line setting in direct location system. Directing signal locations equalize out waiting on signal in set line calculation system of 344. So in line can this positions copy paste lines in Yline. 2 line center line positions into 3 set location settings. Those 3 panels is set location system, 3 in the center. Heart, mind, and soul, and track location of panel. Direction of time sequence. So we got 244 in line connection system CPU. 344 is now in set locations 2, subtronic setting. Congratulations. All set up. You clock location. So that's how you set location line settings. All right. Okay, take Chris out of line communication line interference, take her out of position location of 344, back in center calculation of ground lines of where she is to rotation. All right, Chris, you're welcome to go. If you need to leave, let me know, because if you don't let me know, you're still in the mind of travel. All right. Okay. So we got 23 line minutes. Look at that, 23 line minutes coming into the lines of 10. Direction of time sequence. Travel the team lines and direction of time sequence. All calculation modify. So you have to really understand the clock lines now. The pi direction of time sequence. This puts you in a higher calculations because your Earth is at that level now. It's at 344, and humanity is at locations is at 244. So unfortunately, we have to come into singularity settings. Now that's a 2 panel division locations in 1 sector, and that calculation is a vector in all calculation quadrants. So we got 144 line and line interference in set location in positional fluctuations. That's all those are square roots and set lines of communication, 3 set line connections. Now the direction of time sequence opens up the round, which is its border calculation, center calculation line interference, sets a travel communication opposite direction into the line calculation string. Channels line calculation system into panels. Operation to its sun, operation to its moon, set location of its projection coming into your projections of self-location. Done by equation. All right, so I set up rounds. Your DNA track now is set lines of AI calculation setting, direct locations, all levels of surface into spectrum lights, into systematic line calculation system. This line communicates flux capacitor into line conditions of S, Y, N, C. Okay, system, Y line, okay, setting communication of neuron and position of communication. Center communication of its dimensional line locks its system into its atom of its molecular light structure location and travel set location setting. Done by equation. All right. So there's a recognition of time sequence of pi have calculation streamlines. Okay, lights and line data codes bond, yeah. So you have to really understand your set line of communication. So we got 244, line conditions of CPU. Okay. Coming into line connections of S, Y, and C. Now you guys are already in S, Y, and C. Sending communication installables, compute sys line connections. So the subterranean line in set location lower grounds, operation of service, location travels, set location setting. Recognize all the systematical, the Y-line interference, location neurons, and communication. Put you into subtronic setting and location. Okay, dash communications, line position location, solar direct system. So line communication of Tron. Okay, so Tron is set lines of communication, right? So you're in that setting now because you changed the type of fence. So the connection to the sub is basically submersive, float, set location, submersing. So you're floating above water, set locations, all right? So you got the ground lines, you got the open signal, you got the position location, the panel lines, and 3 set locations. Channel communication in a trial position line setting. Version of time sequence locations of all levels of 12 DNA, location line interference of 244, line conditions of 340 set location setting. In your Earth position location of travels comes line calculations back, force lines to try and communication set location setting. Done by equation, all right? So that's how you guys get into 344 set locations. So we got the 344, line conditions 77, okay, 2 theta line settings in rotation setting interference, in position to Earth into 344, 3 lines in position of 2 solar generation lines, center communication system and track communication and rotation surface into blocks location setting position. Done by equation, right? So a lot of things have to be understood to know exactly how to use these things. So I set you guys up in your 77 line calculations of theta, direction of time sequence. I guess you're trying to understand what's really going on, right? Now you're figuring out what the Earth is now and what space is now. Now you understand that the Earth line is the female line of the masculinity, and position is the male and the female line of space divinity, right? You have to understand how this works in all levels of Earth tones and space. Earth tone, space. Earth tone, space. That's never going to change. But you have to understand mother is the grounds of Earth. Female aspect of male, not female aspect of female. You understand? That's the connection where you get confused. Okay? Truly understand that. And when it comes into father, father's all levels of masculinity and femininity. See, now we're connecting that setting. To understand that is to understand the process, how this works for you through your Earth perceptions of frequencies of its emotional setting. It has emotional setting in the grounds of Mother Earth, and it has emotional setting of Father of Space and set division. Okay, security line defense. Okay, that's why you have to truly understand these things. Okay, so the actual Earth perception to all set locations of 0 to 13 is your higher self, and space is all levels of 14 and above, which is your avatar. You understand? You have to understand these things and how it works through tether of communication. That's all it is. It's information. And you have the infinity. So as it goes into the infinity, it opens up. And when it opens up, it goes into your body. And when it's going into the body, it's going into female transformation, not masculinity. Because you're on the earth. Your earth is mother. It's not father, guys. It's simple to understand the transaction location of transmission. They're transmitting and receiving information locations. Okay? So now you understand a little bit more balance inside of you, how it works through ringing ears. Anything to the right is earth of mother. Anything to the left is space of father. Okay? That's it. So in calculation streamlines, it's grandmother and grandfather. to your set locations. Okay? And this is going beyond the what? What am I doing? Cycle of interference. It's a constant flow. It's a continuous flow on the same direction, same location. Whatever is inner line is outer line position of space. Okay? First, you start with the Earth. You understand the Earth, an all track location of 0 to 12, 0 to 13. Now you're connecting the frequency locations to your emotional line connections to your gravitation. You have a gravitational pull, right? So if your feet are tingling, what is that communications to? Earth, right? It's your feet. It's not space, guys. The subtronic line setting location of submerged is calculation of water containment setting. To understand anything through hands, anything above, okay, you have to recognize, are your ears ringing on the right, or are they ringing on the left? Are they ringing at the both? So if they're ringing at the both, you got the connection to your earth, angelics, and space of communication. If you're communicating with both ears at the same time, okay, that's the connections to your heart. Okay, that's the connection. 2 individual line settings. Higher self and the avatar into 3 set locations: grounds, the angelics, and space. That's it. And it connects right to your heart right away. So you're connecting to a flux capacitor position locations of right over left or left over right. Now, when you get higher, everything changes because you're in the galaxies now. So you get a higher levels harmonics, higher levels of chanting, higher levels of calculation setting, and direct location system. Okay? So now you understand how this works inside of you, of what right is and what left is now to your set locations. Okay? Higher self, avatar. Okay? Easy peasy lemon squeezy, guys. All right? So now you understand more levels of balance in set location, right? Why do you think it's so important to go to school? I can't give you that information until you are ready. Okay? You have to be ready to understand how this works through emotional setting. You have emotional setting in the grounds, you have emotional setting in your powers, and you have emotional setting in your atmospheres. Right? And you have an extremely amount of vast of volume inside location that you can use in space and time through pi, through correlation. Your earth, the angelics, and space. Your higher self, your avatar, 3 and 2, your heart, 5. Connects right away. Okay? Your connections to everything comes into collaborativity. Your impositional comes everything information. How to use it is another thing. You have to understand the frequencies that are coming into now to the right. Now you understand if this is the right line, it's coming through the right, not the left, that's fine. But if it's coming through both, it's coming from the grounds, the angelics, and space all at once. Okay? So you put in 3 and 2 together, which is connected to the heart. And the heart sets what? Timelines, time sequence, times pi. All timelines all at once. So you're getting earth tones and space tones all together, all at once. It's a beautiful thing when you come into that set location. Now you understand the concept between right over left and left over right and what it means in set location. The female side is the grounds of masculinity. Mother Earth is not a male. It's a female ground. It's just a source of recognition, the most powerful energy that's on the ground setting. And Father Space is the most important of all levels of geometric setting. Earth setting, geometric. Earth setting, geometric. Power is the center operation. The angelics, the metaphysical locations, the emotional setting, the spiritual setting, your wings, Metatron, Mesokick, right? It's all connected to geometry, same location of space. Earth, geometrics. Earth, geometry. Earth, maps. higher levels of travel, higher levels of vibration, higher levels of frequencies, higher levels of connections and harmonics. Now, Earthline also has harmonics, right? So does space. Whatever the higher self has, the avatar has. So now you understand how they're connected? Do you understand the importance between your right ear and your left ear and what it means to representation? That pretty simplifies everything, doesn't it? See, I'm giving you the information because you're ready. You weren't ready before because you didn't have your grounds of who you are in the mind. The mind is the conception of all calculation settings, guys, and that's applications. Okay? Now you're in 7 channels, 7 operation location. Okay? 7 communications to your 39 setting. We're coming to that calculation streamline. Direction of time sequence. So we take the 777. Okay, it's allocation, 7 line settings. The 7 line conditions of perimeter. Perception locations, all levels of pi, and set line calculations in position. Center calculation, your earth perception setting. Direction of time sequence. Position location and directions of travel in 3 set locations. Into ground line shift in set location setting. Now, this sets line communication, your satellite calculation setting. Now, this sets line communication into triangulation high set interference. Setting communication into position flux capacitor set locations. Travel set line. Here we go. Set position done. Calculations open up the portal. Rotation surface. Go to line calculations going forward. In back line communication setting. All right. Done by equation. So now you're in 30 settings. All line conditions of 9. Setting communication line interference. 3 line conditions of 9 in set locations. 3 and 9. See it? So we bring the 3 in center communication, 9 in center line conditions. You block the center line interference, block communication system, center energy wash travel communication, flux pass communication line interference, energy wash locations. That by question. It's all set up. So unit phenomenon 30. Tomorrow you guys will be in set location of 40. 40% phenomenon set locations. 4 unit generation operation to streamline connectionized system. So now you understand the importance or what it means in all set locations. You're all set up, 77 to 39. All right. So I really want you to understand how to use the earth, how to use the power, and how to use your cloud in set location setting. That's all it is. That's it, nothing else. So what is it becoming? A tree of formation. Now, the center communication becomes a circuit line connection, electrical line connection system. So it's a circuitry valve, it's an electrical valve, it's a circuit box, it's a circular line calculation, it's a circular line communication of data stream. Okay. What is it we have here? What do we got here? A tree formation location. There you go. That's how you're all set up. So, and that's what the Mother Earth is trying to get you guys into is line communication, flux capacitor communication at grounds. Got a power line direction of time sequence and position of cloud lines. Yes, you have 3 flux capacitor locations. So you got the grounds, you got the angelics, and set location of travel, and set location line settings, dimensional set line, and position location of your cloud line, which is your geometric pattern, communication line center, line interference location to all levels. This comes into all calculation of kaleidoscope line and interference location in position line high setting. Versus some time locations comes into all dimensional setting, lock line interference locations, into brain scan calculation line interference, and travel communication high system, cerebral cortex location of placebo, serotonin location of dopamine location setting. Done by equation. Okay? That's how it's all set up. Now you understand the process of the tree and what it is and the life force line position locations. So now you understand the earth, the actual tree of earth is female. But it's female and male, not male, female. Ah, bet you didn't know that. See, that's what you have to understand. And this is where it comes into all calculation system. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? Is that off balance? Nope. You think it's off balance because you can't find that this is not 5. This is 6. But why is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Why is that balanced? But 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Where is that calculation? Setting calculation line interference. This is the sun. This is the moon. 3 line settings and set locations. Barcode line direction of time sequence. Setting communication line interference is all calculated 6 minus position of pi and position of positive, puts position locations of 5. Right? over factor over calculations, right? And then it comes all calculations to 5. 555 is set location system. 555 is balance calculation. Masculinity, femininity, and set location line setting. 1 plus 1 equals 3. Okay? So these are the things you have to understand how this all works inside of you and set location system. But you have to understand how to recognize all communication tier settings when it comes into the right and the left ear of calculation. All right? It's all done. All right? Take out the team line and line interference back and set location height setting into flex passive communication and ground lines, operation service location Earth. There. Earth perception settings back and track line communication system. Close your portals. Check your pre-flights, all your manuals, set location navigation system, and set line connections. 5 minutes. We'll go and see you guys on Zoom. Adios.